In the year 2065, technology has taken tremendous technological advances, but students still have to somehow, some way show up to classes. While Haruyuki Arata is in class, he receives an email from Araya, one of the bullies at his school, telling him to get him some lunch, and to meet him on the school roof at lunch. After Haruyuki complied with his request, he then goes to the male bathroom to vent out his frustration. Afterwards, he locks himself into the bathroom and enters the school virtual world to play some virtual squash, where he always has the high score. Haru's childhood friend, Chiyuri Karashima, found him when he was playing the game, and sees that he has a ridiculous high score again, telling him he's an idiot for wasting his time when he should be eating, suggesting that he link out of the game. When he declines the offer, Chiyu links out of the game. As Haru's about to play another game, he's forcibly de-linked by Chiyu, who somehow got into the locked room and punches him on their head. After they get out the bathroom and walk into the hallway, Haru told Chiyu about the bullying. Chiyu then suggests that he should do something about it, like reporting it, so that these kids can get kicked out of the school for doing so, but Haru declines the idea, saying that it's going to make the situation worse. After that, she invites him to have some lunch with her, to let him forget about his problems, but he refuses, taking it as pity, pushing her away, causing her full basket of sandwiches to be spilled on the floor. As Haru's running away, he turns to see Chiyu crying, making him feel guilty. As he returns to play squash, he discovers his high score has been beaten by Kuroyukihime, the popular student council vice president, who invites him for lunch tomorrow to change his reality. The next day at lunch, Haruyuki appears at the lunchroom, with this being the area that first year students normally aren't allowed to be in. As everyone's looking around at Haruyuki, Megumi notices him and asks if he needs some help. Kuroyukihime then comments saying that she asked him to be here. Kuroyukihime then introduces Haru to Brain Burst, a program that allows users to accelerate their brain waves to make time appear that it's standing still. Immediately, after the Brain Burst program is finished installing, Araya and his game arrive, scolding Haru for not bringing their lunch, to which Kuroyukihime then provokes Arya to hitting Haruyuki. Before Arya hits Haruyuki, Kuroyukihime tells him to say Burst Link, which logs into Brain Burst. While they're accelerating, Kuroyukihime explains that they have a three-dimensional replica in the real world, which is a Mac-based program from many social cameras in the area. She then advises Haru to let Arya punch him so they can get caught and get expelled. She then tells him to roll with the punch and land directly on top of her. This way they can cause the most violent action possible, with this being the best way they can get him expelled. After some convincing, Haru agrees to it and does as he's instructed, with this ending with him getting hit, but also pushing her against the wall, making her bleed. The security guards quickly come to get Arya and his gang. After school, as Haruyuki and Chiyuri are heading home, they meet up with Takamu Mayuzumi, Haru's other childhood friend and Chiyuri's boyfriend. After Takamu's commenting on Chiyuri's sandwiches, Haru runs away, with him thinking that Chiyuri has told Takamu about him being bullied. Later that night, Haru has a nightmare about being bullied, and Chiyuri and Takamu taking pity on him, with him wishing to fly away from this torment before waking up. As he's preparing for school, and despite being told by Kuroyukihime not to go online the day before, Haru forgets about this and goes online, with him needing to have some lunch money for school, getting it from his mother. When he steps out of his home, he's suddenly transported into the virtual world, with a new robotic-looking avatar as his body, which is named Silver Crow, and he looks around to see himself reflected in a piece of metal. However, it isn't his normal body, with him seeing that he's been accelerated. Suddenly another avatar appears named Ash Roller, who then chases him around, with him having to run away from a motorcycle. At lunch, Haruyuki tells Kuroyukihime about what happened to him, to which she laughs at, telling him that she did warn him about this. She then tells him to log into the global net so they can have a duel, saying it's going to be easier to explain after they do a brain burst. She then explains the rules of brain burst to Haru, with this being a world where people have to fight each other to gain points to accelerate, saying that they're just going to end this in a draw so they don't lose any points. When Kuroyukihime sees his brain burst avatar, she comments how this avatar reflects his insecurities. Kuroyukihime offers him the chance to return back to his normal life now the bully's been gone. However, Haruyuki declines this, as he wishes to repay Senpai. After they log out, Kuroyukihime explains to Megumi and some others to what exactly their relationship is, claiming that she confessed her feelings to him, but Haru rejected her, much to the surprise of students and to the horror of Haruyuki. Afterwards, Haruyuki complains to Senpai, which she was telling the truth, and then sending him a picture of his reaction, with him liking it. Kuroyukihime then tells him to get ready to challenge Ash Roller again. Armed with some new knowledge by Kuroyukihime, Silver Crow logs into Brain Burst to have a rematch with Ash Roller. After waiting and then performing a surprise attack, Silver Crow runs to the top of a building, hoping to win by timeout, since Ash Roller can't climb buildings due to his motorcycle. However, Ash Roller upgraded his motorcycle to climb the walls, with this being his level up bonus. He then runs over Silver Crow repeatedly. After suffering from his attack, Haruyuki reminds Kuroyukihime, explaining the differences between the avatar colors, and how each color symbolizes different abilities, with him able to know Ash Roller's weaknesses now. He lifts up the motorcycle, and then finishes him off with a headbutt, winning the fight and then impressing the Burst Linkers, who are watching this. As Silver Crow is logging out, he's proud of his victory. Chiyuri confronts Kuroyukihime, demanding to know why she's manipulating Haruyuki. Kuroyukihime tells Chiyuri that she's dating Haruyuki, wondering what concern this is to her, and she drags him off to the cafe on their date. While there, Kuroyukihime explains her problems with Haruyuki, explaining the origins of Brainburst. Brainburst was anonymously created 7 years ago, which allows acceleration only for those who are born with the neuralinkers. Therefore, all burst linkers are ages 15 and younger, allowing its existence to be concealed from the public. She wants to meet the creator, to learn the purpose of the program, to know why it was created in the first place. To do that, she needs to reach level 10, which requires 5 wins after you hit level 9 as a burst linker, with 1 loss permanently uninstalling Brainburst. 2 years ago, Kuroyukihime was one of the kings of pure color, the Black King. The kings of pure color are a group of level 9 burst linkers that agreed not to fight each other, but Kuroyukihime did not agree to that treaty and beheaded the Red King, Red Rider, who insisted on preserving the peace treaty. But after this incident, she was branded as a traitor in the acceleration world, leading her to seal away the Black Lotus, her true Brainburst avatar. Since then, she stayed offline, only logging onto the school's local net with her global net avatar. Recently, she has been challenged constantly by a burst linker named Cyan Pile, which could lead to her identity as the Black Lotus being exposed. She talks to Haru about the possibilities of finding out who this person is. He comments on how she could find this out during the school assembly, which she says she tried, but was unable to find them, meaning they must be hiding their identity somehow. Kuroyukihime then states that the burst linker must be on low points, being desperate to duel her, so they must find this person's identity. Kuroyukihime then shows Haru the person she suspects, which turns out to be Chiyuri, which is why she provoked her, although Haru doubts that. Seeing how Chiyuri is bad at video games, Haru begins to investigate Chiyuri being back at her house, under the pretense of him apologizing to her for knocking over the basket of sandwiches she made. On the way to his house, he sees Takamu, with this being because he's exercising. Haru and Takamu begin to talk about the National Kindle Tournament, with it coming up very soon, which Takamu states he doesn't know whether he'll be doing as well in this tournament as he normally does. Soon Haru goes over to Yuri's house. He explains that he wants to apologize by cable cord, which she then agrees to, inviting him in. Chiyuri then pulls out a short cable, and the two of them link up. Chiyuri then tells Haru that she didn't tell Takamu about him being bullied, then telling him she's going to make his lunch tomorrow. During the conversation, Haru manages to go through all of her folders and discovers that she's not Cyan Pile. There is a backdoor program that allows someone to connect to the neuralinkers, explain how they get into the school's net, with this leading to finding who Cyan Pile is. As Haru chooses not to meddle with the backdoor program to avoid detection, he leaves her apartment. He later has a dream consisting of both Chiyuri and Kuroyukihime, who come on to him in his dream. As he's walking to school, he meets up with Kuroyukihime, who apologizes to him for asking the cable link with Chiyuri, with him saying that he did it, which Kuroyukihime is startled by, and she hurries to walk back to school. When Haru is interviewed by 2 girls for the school newspaper, and after they finish questioning him, they come to the conclusion that Kuroyukihime legitimately likes him, saying that she was jealous since the way she acted earlier. Haru refuses to believe this. As Kuroyukihime and Haru are walking together, they start to discuss what Haru found. Haru resigns himself to just being a pawn, with him receiving a slap for Kuroyukihime and being called an idiot. As she's reprimanding him, an out-of-control car heads straight towards them, prompting them to go into Acceleration World. While they're in the Accelerated World, Haru finds that Arai intended to create an incident to get revenge on Haru. As current technology should have prevented this incident from happening, Kuroyukihime then confesses to Haru, saying that she loves him and that she's willing to protect him. After her confession, she uses a powerful move that only a burst linker at level 9 can do, with it being called Physical Full Burst, with this causing her to lose 99% of her burst points, allowing her to manipulate her real body in the Accelerated World, pushing Haru out of the way of the incoming car, leading to her only being hit. Haru notices the live feed, with Kuroyukihime wearing her neurolinker. They're still being connected to the global net, leading him to realize if she was attacked by a burst linker now, she would be completely vulnerable, and therefore he chooses to stay the night. As the morning comes, and the hospital slowly starts to flood with people, Haru spots Takamu, with him coming into the hospital, realizing that he must be Cyan Pile, as Takamu cannot possibly know about the accident unless he saw the information about the school network, therefore meaning he was the one who created the backdoor in Chiyuri's neurolinker. With just a split second to act, Haru rushes over to challenge Takamu, doing so before he can challenge Kuroyukihime. So this is where we're going to leave off in today's video. If you like today's video, here's another one just like it, so go check it out. I'll be breaking down this anime into multiple parts. Now if you like this video, make sure to leave me a like, and why not subscribe to the channel? I upload daily videos just like this one, so I'll see you next time.